Thank you. So whatever change is, cause, catalyst, catharsis, to ignite it and sustain it requires conversation. Whether personal or professional, change without conversation is going to be doomed. Conversation matters because it enables us to live well and to work better, to embrace being fully human. But it's under assault from forces like irrationality and narcissism and technology. Problem one is irrationality. Richard Hofstadter said that American politics has often been an arena for angry minds. There is no dialogue, only intersecting monologues. Problem two is superficiality and narcissism. Conversations become a sterilized activity served up as infotainment. It's become a spectator sport where we give nothing of ourselves. And then there's technology. We're technologically connected, but we're socially isolated. You know, the 1,000 people on our phones are preferable to the single person next to us. Even the presence of a cell phone diminishes the quality of our conversation. So what is conversation? For me, it's the coming together of two minds that share memories, experiences, knowledge, and opinions, willing to leave that engagement slightly different. So let's talk about the benefits of conversation. To know ourselves, we must speak out. Susan Sontag said, "I talk in order to find out what I think." To know others, we must dream and step outside ourselves and discover people. Innovation requires that we adventure to the borders of our knowledge, where the conversation tectonics create these collisions of hunches and at whose intersections we're spurred to new ways of thinking. And conversation is connection, to connect the head and the heart, employee and executive, the now and the possible. We have to have conversation be our mediator. And then there's this 2010 Harvard study that found that we're happiest when making love, exercising, or engaged in conversation. And I could only find slides showing 2 of 3 activities. I looked. The primary benefit of conversation is that it renders purpose and meaning in our lives. It enables community, connection, and change. So if we are to manifest change, we must improve the quality of our conversations. So it's not techniques, it's not influence. What it is investigating our attitudes to the art of conversation. So here are 6 of those attitudes. Are we open? How do we choose to relate to other people? Is it an agenda-driven conversation, a me narcissism, or, as Janet said, what have you done for me lately? To grow, we must move to those fringes of our experience and be curious. Creativity is not born from certainty, but from discovery. So take that road less traveled. And the point about conversation often is that it has no point. The fertile potential of conversation lies in its unpredictability. So break away from routine. Allow room for serendipity. And a conversation will tell us where it wants to go if we let it. And that's hard to do. That's hard to do in an era of information, of volume and velocity. But silence gives us a chance to be detectives of our own thinking. And to enhance our empathic capacity, we must walk in the shoes of others. And when we do so, we see the world through the thousands of eyes of other people. And we get to see ourselves from a multitude of different perspectives. So this takes courage to step into difficult conversation. And yet the ongoing activity of conversation enables us to sidle up bit by bit into more difficult and more challenging issues. So now the bad news. The sociologist Sherry Turkle says that we are lonely, but we're afraid of intimacy. It takes real effort to forge authentic human connection. But the reward of conversation is that it opens up potential in our lives. And if we are to evince change for ourselves and for others, we must be attentive to our personal art of conversation. Thank you.